Give me all.
22.
22, sure. Flyer.
Come on,
Jazz.
me together. Come on.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Hold on a sec, hold on. That's why I've got 15 extra.
Oh, here we go.
Sean Williamson, I haven't got
They have
one
put
here.
yours at the same day. Simon.
Good peg. 1 to 10.
33. Scales.
Yeah.
Out of order.
Simon got scales. She's got
You can have another one there.
Don't get all the
scales again.
Don't get.
3 next to you.
Oh, nice peg. Hey,
nice
good
one.
peg that.
Good peg.
Simon.
Bob.
Winning peg.
Scales.
13. 13. 17. Bob. 17.
Mr. Incredible.
It's 17. Yeah. So,
Mr. Incredible.
legs.
Is that 11?
11.
11. Mr. Incredible. Good peg.
Here's a flyer.
Right.
John Whitehead.
20. 20.
Check him.
Check him up, check him up.
Put that one wind in your face. Put that one back.
That halfway down.
9. Who's that?
9. Frank. 9. It's
Nick
on the
Carper.
right hand side.
Corner. Far end.
It was corner.
Shall I drive round?
Yeah, you have to walk down a bit.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm at this corner, aren't I?
Jack.
Jack 25.
Is that top corner? What do you want? 9. I can never get
Is that last peg? Nosh, 25.
No.
It's
It's on that side.
Mr. Danby, 1.
25.
Another flyer.
It's what? Downstairs?
Yeah.
Another flyer. John, a flyer.
My dad.
Tell you what, it's took over from you, Nosh, with golden hand. Oh, that John boy.
My dad. 32.
52. Where all fish are, Jeff, down the end, and you're sheltered.
What, on 32, where is it?
You'll see.
Mr. Middleton.
Where all fish are, all down that end.
Nige Middleton.
Hey, I've heard it before.
27.
6.
6.
Ronnie, 6. You with fish anyway. Not left for me, new bonds.
Superstar here.
Simon.
Our leader of women.
23.
23.
What we got left? About 3 and 4. Scales doing.
Yeah.
Oh, does that? No.
Do it out here, Cop. We've got, should be 2 left.
I'll get scale, don't worry about it.
So there's scales left in.
Yeah.
Bonzo 8 scales. You can't believe it's happened every week. This,
Yeah,
eh?
yeah. How can everybody join leave scales?
Peg 30 for Alan.
Scales for me, then that. Again.
Bonzo's got peg 8
That's scales.
and scale. So peg 8's not a bad peg. He has got a pound on with Shaz. How's that going?
I don't like to say.
How's he get it in?
This won't last 4.
He's going to change it today though.
I'm
He's got a
hoping
decent
so, I'm
peg.
hoping.
See you on
We'll
the
send
bank,
you a recap on that. And
See you on the bank, folks. Right, good morning, fish people. I'm Alan Norris from Fish on TV. Been with the old boys for 3 weeks or so. I've just been far too busy with work, a little project that's turned up, which should be finished in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. So I've taken the day off today. I thought, right, that's it. Fishing today. I haven't been for a while, so I'm going to just have to move, I think, with a look at this. Just 2 seconds. There's a big tractor coming. Let's see if he's got by. Yes, there we go. He's managed to get past. Right, you're joining us today at Millionaire Mix, aka Woodhouse, Grange. We are on the Kingfisher pond. So I've drawn peg 30. I am at the right end of the lake, but from what Alison's been telling me, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, that sort of area has been the winning weights. There's been some decent weights as well, sort of between 50 and 80 pounds being caught. And I am at this side of the lake. I've got the wind it's in my face and across. It could be difficult with a pole. We'll see how bad it is, but it's just looking at it, it's blowing quite a bit. I do want to use the pole. I think there's a decent margin to be had there, but we'll have a look when we get down there. I've never fished that peg before. I'm just looking at it now. So tactics wise, I think I'm going to go down the maggot and soft pellet and corn line, and that's pretty much it. I don't think I'm going to complicate it too much. I've not had a chance to get a lot of gear prepped, so let's make do with what I already had prepped and just see if we can get a few fishies. So let me get ready. Always bloody late, and we'll see what we can do today. So see you in the bank in a jiffy. Right folks, I'm here at peg 30. There's 3 minutes to go. I'm all ready. Wind's completely changed direction. Well, you'll see what I mean. It's weird. It's blowing in his face here and blowing down from that side. It's very strange. And I've got absolutely loads of rubbish in my peg, so God knows what it's going to be like on the bottom. I've got Jeff to my right. So before we get going, let's have a look at the baits. Maggots. I've got a little maggot feeder. There we go. Get a bit further out. Maggot feeders. A little Preston feeder. It's the Duro Banjo, but it's a little hybrid feeder really, and a normal method feeder. Got the mould in case I decide to change to method. My timer and my counter, bits and bobs. Corn, micros, a couple of different colours, and I've got, it's mainly expanded that with a little bit of boiler crush, sieved boiler crush ground bait, not a lot of feed, but it smells beautiful, and maggots and soft pellets. That's my approach. I'll show you where we're going to go. It's full of rubbish down here in the margins, so I've gone a bit further out and I've found a slope. It just drops off about 4 inches just here, so I'm fishing just on the slope at the bottom of the slope. I've got Jeff opposite me here, my old mate Jeff. I've plumbed up just in front of me, just it starts to get a bit deeper, and again I found a bit of a slope. It goes down that way slightly. I've plumbed onto the slope there. That's at 11 metres, and all along here you're probably thinking, oh, get dobbing along there. That's fine. That is the tactics there. So let me just check time because we shout in a sec. That is the tactics there, but the only trouble is there's floats galore in there. I have gone heavier on the gear. I've got a 14-16 elastic on, 015 bottom, just to try and keep that. I'll tighten that elastic up. But the danger is there's hopefully a bit better chance this time if you hook them that you can get them out with them being a little bit slower, but I don't know. I think I could be losing some gear in there. So I've also got the method set up and the maggot feeder. Method mainly if I get one holding the rod and make sure I can drag it out. That's the only problem there. It's okay saying get dobbing around there, that's fine, but you're going to lose some gear for certain. Absolute certain. So we'll do our best and we'll see how we crack on. But that's the tactics. Baits is going to be to my right. I've fished away from the margin slightly. That's going to be corn and just 2 secs. Time! Mainly corn down there. Well, I can use corn, bunch of maggot, soft pellets, anything down there. I'll probably feed that slightly heavier and leave it a while. I'm going to fish just in front of me. I'm going to try maggots and soft pellet just in front of me, and I might just have a little cast about with the method feed to start with. Maggot feeder can do quite well here as well, so that's what I've got in mind. We'll just see how we get on. It's not a big cast out there. It's 14 metres at the most smack in front of me, so there's no big cast. It's probably under arm in about really. That's about it. There's been some decent weights caught. John Danby's opposite me. He's in a good peg. Those pegs on the other side, 1 to 4, have been the performing pegs. Don't know what this peg's done. I didn't ask and have a chance this morning. So they're the tactics. Let's see how we get on. Let's get fishing. Right then, people. All I'm getting at the minute is 1 or 2 silvers. I've tried dobbing across there at the wind. The wind is just making it's impossible almost. The wind, believe it or not, is blowing left to right. But where we are here, because of these trees and everything, it's blowing straight in my face. I can't get away from it, can I? I did have one or two fish, but they were just small fish. They were roach. Dubbed maggot. I dubbed. You're not allowed bread here. I dubbed some corn skin. I had an indication, but normally I'd have a long lash while I'm dubbing, but I've shortened it because of the reeds. I want to try and get them out if I did get a fish on. But the only trouble is with that, the wind has got up considerably more now, and it's making it impossible. And I don't want to risk losing loads of gear, disturbing where I'm fishing, just for the sake of dubbing around that area. And I know eventually I'd get a fish or two. There's one or two right in the middle of them knocking about. I can see them knocking reeds about, but if you just have a look, I mean, I'm sure somebody cleans up, but I can see at least 4 or 5 floats in there now. So that's the problem that you have. So I'm fishing 4mm pellet at the minute. I've had gudgeon, some roach, a little skimmer. I've just started to put a little nugget, just a little nugget of ground bait in. I'm not sure. I've fed one line to my right, the shorter line, quite positive. And even though it sort of classes me margin stroke second line, I can keep trying it because it's not exactly a proper margin as such. So I can keep on looking at this. I'm going to feed that one quite positive and this one a little bit negative, and then hopefully we'll get an idea with how much bait they're actually wanting. So there's not a lot of feed in this ground bait that I've got. And keeping your rig still as well in this, it's unbelievable. So I'm just swinging it to the left, to the deepest bit, and coming in towards the shelf. And I'm hoping at some point maybe some F1s and some carp may turn up, but at the minute it seems to be roach, gudgeon and this skimmer. I've had about 4 or 5 I think, and we're an hour in. I think Dave Eccles opposite's had a carp. I don't know how any of these guys are doing up there, but I've not heard anybody saying so-and-so's bagging. But I just can't believe, I mean, when I walked round this morning pegging it out, it was flat calm here, and when I drew it I thought, oh well, at least I ain't got the wind in my face, and now I have. Unbelievable. Cannot get away this winter. And you watch, when it comes to summer, when I want the wind in my face, because the fish tend to follow it in the summer, not in the winter. Somebody says, oh, wind in your face, they'll follow wind. Not in winter. It's very rare that they'll follow the wind in winter because it is colder up there in that lake. Oh, a little indication there. So just for those, there's one or two keep saying wind in your face is good, not in winter. And I'll argue that case. If you read any of the top guys, they fear the worst if they've got the wind in their face in winter. In summer, different kettle of fish. Different kettle of fish. And I feel like I'm gripping my pole, trying to keep everything still. And it is just coming towards me slightly, but it's just about holding. I put a 4x14s on there because that wind started to get up. I was going to have a 4x12s, but I've stepped it up a little bit just to see if I can. A little skimmer again. Oh, a little roach. Well, at least we're catching 1 or 2 fish, but not the fish that I want. A little roachy. Well, that's the tactics that I'm using at the minute. I chucked the maggot feeder in while I was just getting finishing a few little things off. And I did have some bites. I put a bunch of maggots on and I was getting rattles. There were small fish. It seems to me that it's the roach that are feeding at the minute. I've not seen anybody catch anything big round here. So we'll just keep feeding these lines, keep fishing these lines, and hope that something turns up. I'll put 1 or 2 fish in the net. And if it does calm down, I can go back out there again. Otherwise, it's chucking a method over there, and like I say, I think I'd have to hold the rod, because there's definitely gear been lost in there without a shadow. And it looks so tempting to just dob there all day, but I'm not risking losing loads of gear. I'm sorry, folks. Right, let's get in. Right, folks, I put a slightly bigger pellet on, and I think I've got either an F1 or a carp. Can't quite tell just yet. Got to wait a little bit longer. Let's have a look. Probably an F1, but we'll soon find out. It's an F1 and it's wrapped round its bloody fin. There we go. Oh well, we've actually got a better fish at last. Bit of perseverance. And decent sign. So let's hope we can get one or two more. I know John Danby opposite, he's gone in his margin. So that tells me that they are closer in as well, so I can now alternate between that. I've not seen Jeff catch anything close in. He's just here. And there's not a great deal of distance between where I'm fishing and where he's fishing. I didn't realise we'd gone that far out, but anyway. Keep alternating the two swims. I'll probably put a bit of bait down to my left as well at some point. Yeah, just a slightly bigger pellet. Wait a bit longer. Under it went, so nice one. That'll do. There we go. There you go, folks. Look at that for the smallest carp in the world. Absolute beauty. A little minter. That's got to be the smallest one I've ever had. Right, I've got to say, John Danby's lovely and comfortable over this, so are all them lot. This is just horrendous here. Absolutely horrendous. I've had to put an extra section on my pole just so I can put the float a little bit further out, because it's coming towards me a little bit. It's just horrendous all round. I just cannot get comfortable at all here. Just things like this, you know, wind blowing your line around everything. It's just been a nightmare. It's got really strong as this wind blowing in my face. It's just really, really difficult. Nigel's got about 4 F1s to my left. John Danby's got about the same. But it's hard going. Difficult to see shy bites in this, but I managed to see it. And you can see that wind just blew right to the left. So a little F1. Just keeping persevering with this line. I've alternated. I've tried the line to my right and I've not had a sign just yet, but that could alter later on. And I've not really tried the method. I've had one go on it, but I need to change my with my peg being on a slope like that. My feeder arm's too high, and I meant to change before I started, but the plan really was to go on pole most of the day, but I wasn't expecting this horrible wind. So yeah, what I've had to do with the extra section on, it's the gap between my float tip and my elastic. I put an extra section on because I've right at the end of my fifth or sixth section, and I've had to shove it out about another 12 inches, so I'm on my line because it's just blowing towards me. It's really got up as this wind. So I'm fishing 4mm pellets. I'm probably putting about 20 pellets in with it and fishing over the top, and I'll just show you what I'm doing, because it's a nightmare trying to get the presentation. I feel like I'm getting cold. That wind blowing like it is, runny noses and things, so excuse the sniffling. It's really got up. It won't forecast this wind, so that's where I'm tipping my bait. Just trying to keep it still and get that accurate. It's hard enough. So there, we've got that in, and now I'm going to go out that extra little bit, which is the difference in line, roughly. It's not dead accurate, so I've just shipped it out a little bit because it is coming towards me, because I've noticed my stops are beyond my float, so the float's definitely coming towards me a little bit as it's settling. So we'll see if we can get one now. Now that's just settled nicely. That is just settled lovely. That's about as good as it gets now. As you can see, they're just blowing my pole all over the place. Come on, fishies. So even though I've got a few fish, I've not got a lot of weight. I've probably only got about 4 pound, and I've absolutely no idea how anybody else is getting on. It's like a mill pond over the other side over there. I know John's had a few and Nigel's had a few. Oh, I thought I had a bite then, it must have been my stops. Oh, that was definitely a bite. Pellet's still on. Tiny little bites, and it is difficult to see with these with this wind. So again, I'm shipping it to the left, coming into that shelf that I know that's there. Just settled lovely, that. Just need it to go under. I've had a period of about an hour where just no indications from any line. Well, it doesn't look like I'm going to get a bite while you're on, folks. Well, I did have a bite, but I missed it, didn't I? Semi-skimmed. I just wanted to give you an idea. I mean, I'm keeping it as still as possible. I've got wedged inside my knee, so the pole can't blow left. And if you went to the other side of the lake, it's blowing down towards me. It's unreal. It just don't make, I just can't work it out. It must be all these trees that's causing it to blow all sorts of directions. No, it doesn't look like it's going to go under now, does it? Come on, fishy. Right then, folks. There we go. Right, going on to the method. I've had 3 or 4 casts on it. Just trying different areas. And I managed to pick one up. Only a till. Out towards those reeds, I was right on it. Make sure it doesn't run into those reeds. Oh, you're not supposed to do that. My mistake. You're supposed to put it in by your net. Don't forget Woodhouse, Grange, and that's been chatting. You've got to put it in with your net, no matter how big it is. And I've done it with the silver ones as well. It's easily forgotten, but try to remember next bit, don't you? But yeah, apparently Simon Hudson's getting 1 or 2 now. And his inside edge, but my inside edge to my right there, it's just full of debris. So like I said earlier, I've got to go quite away from the edge because it's just full of branches. They've obviously been cutting trees down and what have you. Tricky little cat. Folks, this is the 3rd one from out there. They're only little F1s. John Danby opposite's had a great big carp. Jess had his first F1. It's a method feeder. That's better. Method feeder over there, getting 1 or 2, but I dare say, I mean these, I'm having to drag him out through reeds. I dare say that if I got a decent one on, I'd be struggling. That is for certain. So I've just got a couple of dead reds on, and ground bait round a little method feeder. And there's no messing with the bites, there really are, it's just straight round. So I think we're miles behind, absolutely miles behind. Bob's got one up top there, top end. There's a nice peg up there. Usually get quite a few fish. And it's an awkward little chuck. I don't want to clip up. That's I might be able to just might be just okay with that. But yeah, dicing with death because it's hard to know where all the old dead reeds are, and I'm just on the edge of all the reeds. So I'm dicing with death a little bit there, I think. Just one little stick up, just to the right where I've just cast. That's where the fish are. You know, you can see them inside moving about. It used to be an island, that right in the middle, but all the reeds have grown right out. But that's another one. So we haven't got a lot of weight. We've only got about £6 or so. 6-7 pound at the most. Jeff's catching some little gudgeon. Quite a few of those today. But it's proved a tough day. I'm due another look down in this margin down here, but it's hard to gauge where all the fish are actually coming from because there's not a great deal being caught from what I can see. So I think I've just got to try out there for a while, have a look down here, go back on the other line and just see if fish have turned up anywhere where I've put little bits of bait. It's not loads of bait, you're not trying to drag them in, you're just trying to find fish really. Dare say I'll probably a little cast just in front of me as well. But it's definitely got fish written all over it in those reeds, I'm sure, on the pole. You get a decent fish on, that elastic's going to come out straight into the middle of them. That's why there's loads of floats knocking about. Right, there we go folks. Right then folks, better fish here. There we go, nice one. That's from the semi-tight margin on corn. Just pulling it into the there we've got a nice little F1 around about the £2 to £3 mark. Best fish of the day on corn. I've had 2 or 3 gores in there, and that's the first indication. I've fed it 3 times, not a lot. I fed it early on, then I fed it an hour or 2 in, and then I've fed it just before I've gone in now, and I've not put any bait in with. Let's get a better piece. as I've dropped it in, should I say. And another one next cast, so that came within about, ooh, I just got you, that came within about a couple of minutes. Had a slight indication to start with. That's the first sign, these are the first signs I've had down there, so it seems like they're just starting to either feed or just coming in into these margins. Well, there's another one, and this one. The thing I'm struggling with, I know it probably don't look too bad on the camera, but F1s are such delicate biters. Sometimes I'm wondering, was it a bite? Wasn't it a bite? I just noticed it just dipped a little bit quicker than the waves that are going over. It's just oh, it's better fish as well, quite a bit better. That'll do. Hey, what we got here? Get out of the way, won't you? That I best shift that, haven't I? That's a nice F1, is that? Crikey, it's a beauty. It's at least £3. Top lip, so tells me everything's in working order. Let's move my shot a little bit. There we go. Right, another F1. And what I have noticed as well now, when I was potting in, when I'm saying potting, I use a big pot, but I don't fill it. I just make sure I don't spill anything. So it's a small amount of bait, really, for this time of year. Well, it's quite a lot for this time of year, but a small amount of bait in general. And I didn't feed. I had two fish and didn't feed, and it went quiet. So I put a pot on, a little cad pot on, and fed, and then I started getting bites again. So that's telling me, hopefully, they're reacting to a little bit of feed. So I'm putting 3 or 4 pieces of corn and a little nugget of micros, and it seems to be promoting a bite too. I think this one is definitely a better fish, folks. Either that or it's foul up, but I think it's a better fish. Certainly feels heavier than the rest. Apparently Simon on peg 3 and 3 and 4 have been the informed pegs. Apparently he's been bagging all day. I mean, I can't see him, so but Jeff says he's had loads all day. But we'll see. I think this is a carp. Have a look, see if he'll come to the top. No, not yet, not quite ready. It's definitely a carp. I think it were a mirror. Didn't quite get a good look at it. He's putting a mighty scrap up. Come on, son. We desperately need this one in. Yeah, he's a beauty. That's just helped me out a little bit. What a lovely fish. Another F1. Yeah, it's a shame I won't catch in a few early doors. A nice little finish, this. Still a nice little finish to be catching 1 or 2. long we got left? Just double check. We've got 19 minutes, so no time to waste. Alright then folks, the last fish I'll be recording. I'll see if I can get one or two more. Another F1. This shorter line, my sort of semi-margin line, has been the best line today by far. So we shall probably see you at the weigh-in in about 15 minutes. Right folks, that's the end of the match. Oh, what a day. Well, what can I say about that? I cannot get away from wind in my face. I love the money through winter, and I know what's going to happen in summer. When you want it, you're going to be there. Luckily, it's not been bitterly cold, but it has made the fishing difficult. Now, how the heck that wind can blow from the top of the lake down to the bottom, except where I was, where it was blowing straight in my face, is beyond me. I mean, it's got to do with all the trees and coming from the cobble and blowing through. It was just horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And well, you saw the lines I set up. Margin, they've been cutting trees, they've needed to be cut, but they've been cutting trees just full of branches. I couldn't get a decent margin down there. Oh, nice one. So I've ended up opting to fish about 2 yards away, and it was about 3 foot of water. I found a lovely little ledge, and I was pulling it into that ledge. I thought there's got to be fish on there. So that was the margin line, stroke, say call it a 5 metre line. Then I had one, I said 11, it was 9 metres, smack in front of me. Again, I found a lovely little ledge, and then I planned on dobbing round the reeds. I mentioned you lose rigs because there's loads of rigs in there. I couldn't hold the pole in the end, it was that bad. I did have a few fish, they were small fish, but Simon Hudson on the opposite side with wind behind, he said it's been lovely for him today. He's actually fished into the reeds and he's done all right, but he's lost 5 rigs. That's got to do with heading, hasn't it? So well done, Simon, for persevering there. I've ended up catching a few silvers. I fed the 5 metre, we'll call it the 5 metre line to my right, with micros, bit of ground bait and corn, maybe 20 pieces of corn. About an hour and a half later, I've refed it again. Then I've had a look, nothing. I had 2 or 3 looks, nothing. Caught something on the method. I think I had 3 little F1s, and the line in front of me, the 9-10 metre line, I persevered with maggot and soft pellet, even had to go with a bit of corn, but mainly soft pellet on there. I had a few skimmers, a few roach, and I think the odd F1, but it was difficult to see the bites because the F1 bites, you know, it's like it's dink and that's it, and I couldn't really tell whether I'd had a bite or not. It was that bad. So I was getting a bit frustrated. I'm thinking, God, I don't really know what to do. I can't see the bites. It was getting a bit frustrating. The 5 metre line, I did have a slightly more buoyant float, bigger bristle, which I don't, for F1s I don't really like, but I had to have it down there because of the waves. And I did see 1 or 2 bites, and in the last hour, so basically I fed it 3 times in total, and on the 3rd time that I fed it, I've gone straight over it, and there wasn't quite as much bait on the 3rd feed, but the other 2 I was quite positive with, and I ended up having quite a good last sort of 50 minutes, hour 50 minutes, something like that, with a few small F1s and a nice carp, and it's bumped my weight up a little bit. So I haven't done too bad. So we'll get on to the results. That's my fishing today. I found it pretty tough. It were tough to enjoy when you just couldn't get anything right, having to sort of guess how much extra pole you had to push out because it was blowing back towards you. All those sort of little things, it were just, I couldn't be as accurate as I wanted to be. Right, but in the end it worked out okay. So let's do sections first. Your first section, with £28.10, we've got some new scales. There we go, look, measured in pounds and ounces properly now. Donated by Nigel Middleton, and his brother, by the way, was here today. Bit of a celebrity. Simon Middleton is the coach for the women's England rugby team, so very nice to see you today, Simon. I have seen you before at Pontefract Squash Club as well, and he's joined us to have a bit of fishing today, so very nice to see you, pal. So your first section with £28.10, yours truly, get in. So what a mighty fisherman I am today. And I probably caught £20 of that in the last 50 minutes. They just turned up, so, and the nearest to me in the section was 19. The rest is 6, 7, 12 and 10. So that shows how tough it's been. So well done me. Your second section was John Whitehead from Peg 20 with £16.8. So well done, John, what a mighty fisherman you are. Well done, son. And your third section was John Danby opposite me with £42.8. Those 1, 2, 3 and 4 seem to be the in pegs at the minute. So well done, John Danby, what a mighty fisherman you are. And in second place overall, he's fished for £1 today. He's drawn the scales on numerous occasions. He's not happy about that one. He's coming with £47.14. He thought it was going to be a disaster, but he's caught well at the end. It's Bonzo. Well done, Bonzo. He lost 4 on the trot to Chaz, but he's redeemed himself today. He smashed Chaz up, who only had £14. So well done, Bonzo. What a mighty fisherman you are. And stop bloody moaning about scales. It is funny because he gets them every week. Well, he won't find it funny, but I do. So your overall winner, again, he's dotted his float down, little taps, F1 City, he said. Where are you, Michael? Well, Michael. Mick Smith from Peg 12 with £52.11. He's got a load of F1s. He is this week's old boys mightiest fisherman. Well done, Mick Smith. Right, that's your day at the Kingfisher at Woodhouse Grange, aka Millionaire Mix. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I'd like to say I've thoroughly enjoyed my fishing, but it was nice to get a few at the end, but gosh, it was frustrating today. But I do always enjoy my fishing. It's a proper challenge that when you're finding it difficult, you've got to suss it, try and get a few fish. I felt like I did in the end, so not too bad in the end. A section will take that. So don't forget, folks, if you do like my videos, it's absolutely free to subscribe. If you click the notification bell, you will get all our videos as we upload them, and a thumbs up would be very, very nice. So until Sunday, take care, folks, and don't forget, fish on, guys.